To Livingston Academy for tonight's Overton County Middle School volleyball matchup between Livingston Academy and Avery Trace as these two teams get ready to play here tonight to open the season for both these schools. Or these counties. It is the first game of the season for these two, as Overton County will be dressed in the blue. Avery Trace dressed in Overton County dressed in the royal blue. Avery Trace in the navy blue with the red trim. Overton County with the white trim, as they'll start number 19, Annabelle Flowers. Also number 20, Alan Lee. Number 14, Harper Hammonds. Number 12, Aubrey Garrett. Also number 15, Brayley Kaufman. And if they would turn around, but Avery Trace is going to serve first. We'll get the last starter for Overton County is to serve for Avery Trace is Baylor Davidson. Serve going to be played in the front row by Overton County. Tapped over, but in the net is going to be Overton County's Brayley Kaufman for a point for Avery Trace. The other starter for Overton County is number 13, Jayla Rudd. For Coach Christy Jenkins, assistant coaches Hannah Hammonds and Christy Hammonds. The serve will be played by Kaufman. Tapped over, tapped right back to Kaufman. Kaufman will take it across, though. Set there by Davidson. Tapped across. That's off the roof and down for the point for Avery Trace. So they're starting Baylor Kate Davidson, Lola Kraus, Hattie Sailors, Leona Warren, Addie Lynn Jones. For Coach Jordan Highway, and assistant coach Allie Keever, as we'll get the other starters for Avery Trace in just a moment as that serve goes into the net. Also starting is Josie Ford for Avery Trace. And let's see, that's 6 of them right there. Serving here for Overton County is Lee, and Lee's going to get that one down for an ace for Overton County to tie the score at 2 apiece. As these two, this is the JV matchup here in this junior high volleyball match. They will play the best 2 out of 3. First 2 games are to 25. You must win by 2. Serve played back row by Avery Trace. Davidson will set in the middle, and they can't tap it across as Avery Trace can't control it. And Overton County will take their first lead at 3-2. Alan Lee serving once again. This one going to be played on the side by Avery Trace. Tapped over by the Lady Raiders. There to get its Rudd. Tapped over now by Kaufman. Played right back, and that one's going to be spiked down by Harper Hammonds. Hammonds with the spike for Overton County, as they have scored now 3 in a row to take a 4-2 lead over Avery Trace. Lee played on the far side by Avery Trace, tapped over by Kaufman. There to get to it's Davidson. Played back to her by Kraus, but then Davidson can't take it across. That'll be a point for Avery Trace, again on the serve of Alan Lee. Lee with the left-handed serve, underhanded, and can't control this one as it goes off of Addie Lynn Jones for the ace, once again for Lee. Alan Lee doing a good job on her serve here in game 1. Happy to have you with us here on Overton Events. This one played by Avery Trace as Kraus will make the pass to Davidson. Then Kraus hits it long, and the point will go to Overton County. If you're enjoying our coverage, subscribe to our YouTube page or follow us on Facebook. We'd appreciate if you would do both for us. That would help out. That's an ace there for Lee once again. There's a little confusion there by Avery Trace. 8 straight points now for Overton County. 7 on the serve of Lee. Allen has this one played in the middle by Warren. Now Davidson. Now Kraus will push it across. There's Garrett. Tapped over now by Overton County's Flowers. Davidson will tap it right back to Flowers. She'll go right back to Davidson, who can't control this one. So good job there by Annabelle Flowers on a couple of passes from Avery Trace to get the point. Lee will have this one played across by Kraus, and that one's going to drop for a point for Avery Trace. Lola Krause able to find the open spot that time to get the point and get the serve back for Avery Trace. And it will be Krause stepping out to serve for the Lady Raiders. Dressed in the navy blue, the white numbers, the red trim. Krause will play this one to Lee. Lee pops it up to Hammonds. Hammonds now will set Kaufman. Kaufman is dug. Tap back across to Kaufman. Hammonds right back to Kaufman. She'll go over the top of the block, but Davidson is there. They'll go outside now to take it across with Ford, played by Lee. Hammonds now to Kaufman to play it across. Flowers tries to go to Kaufman, but they can't control the pass, and the point going to go to Avery Trace. So Krause with a couple of points on her to serve to cut the lead down to 4 at 9-5. This one going to be in the back row. Tapped right across the top of the net and down. Are they going to call a net, though, on Overton County? Net call on the Lady Wildcats. So it will go with a point to Avery Trace. Lola Krause to serve. She'll play it back row to Rudd. That's right over the top of the net and down. As Ford can't control it, the point going to go to Overton County, and the serve going to go back to Overton County as they will play it. Deep serve this time by Braylee Kaufman. Going to be an ace off of Addie Lynn Jones for the point for the Lady Wildcats as they've got their first sub coming in, number 24. Checking in is going to be Aaliyah Paul. Coming in replacing Garrett. Deep serve here played by Krause. Davidson will set in the middle and tapping into the net is going to be Warren with the point for Overton County. Lady Wildcats lead 11-6 here in this matchup. Kaufman serving. Ace right there. A ace untouched that time as it goes over the head of Sailors for the point for Overton County. So Overton County back out by 6 at 12-6. Here in this game one. They said best 2 out of 3 here today. Deep serve in the back row, played there by Avery Trace. Davidson going to go outside to Ford. Ford will tap it long, though. It's a good pass initially by Addie Lynn Jones to get that to the front row, but then hit long by Avery Trace for the point for Overton County. And again, Braylee Kaufman to serve. Goes deep back row. Krause can't control it. Diving effort, though, by Ford. Pops it up in the air, but they can't take it across, and the point going to go to Overton County to move them in front by 8 now at 14-6 to take their biggest lead of the night. This one's going to be out of bounds on the sideline here for the point for Avery Trace and the serve for Avery Trace. They're going to get a sub into the ball game. Hadley Newton going to check in, replacing Leona Warren. Newton coming in to serve for the Lady Raiders. Newton running the serve. Kaufman diving effort will take it across. Davidson takes it right back. Hammonds taps it back across. There's a net on Avery Trace as Josie Ford got underneath the net, and the point going to go Overton County as Trinity Hauser will check in for the first time for Overton County. She'll come in replacing Jayla Rudd. Mila Hill going to check in. She'll replace Annabelle Flowers, and Hill will serve for Overton County. 15-7, the Overton County lead. Tough serve. Davidson will pop it up there. Taking it across is Jones. Diving effort there by Hill. Tapped across by Hammonds and down. Hammonds will find the open spot for Overton County as Hill to serve once again. Another good serve here. Played up by Jones. Davidson back to Jones. Taps it to Hill. This one's going to be tapped across. Doesn't catch the roof. Davidson is there. Jones will take it across to Lee. Hammonds right back to Lee. Free ball here for Avery Trace, but they tap it across in one. Taken across there by Overton County. Played back in the middle to Jones. Jones in the back row. Kaufman. That's a across the net to the front row to Sailors, and then her pass unable to be controlled, and the point going to go to Overton County. Hill, the serve once again. 10-point lead for Overton County as Hill takes this one in the middle to Avery Trace. And hitting in the net is Jones for the point for Overton County, and a timeout going to be called by Avery Trace. They'll call it in game one. It's Overton County 18, Avery Trace 7. Back here after the timeout called by Avery Trace, Mila Hill to serve for Overton County. Hill serves on the far side to Sailors. Sailors will take it across. Tapped up in the air. Kaufman will play it across to Davidson. Now tapped across by Jones. Kaufman pops it straight up in the air. Hill going to set a new player in there, Aaliyah Paul, and Paul can't take it across. And the point going to go to Avery Trace. Stepping up to serve for the Lady Raiders is Hattie Sailors to serve. Sailors serving for the first time in this match. Deep serve at in. Ace there for Hattie Sailors on the good serve. Deep in the back row, about a foot inside the back line. And the point to Avery Trace. Sailors to serve once again. That one goes into the net. Off the serve of Sailors for the point for Overton County. Sub coming in for Avery Trace is Brooklyn Wigand is going to check in. She'll come in replacing Sailors. Stepping out to serve Overton County is going to be number 14, Harper Hammonds, to serve for the Lady Wildcats. First serve from Hammonds going to be played by Ford to Davidson. Davidson now to Jones. Dug in the back row by Kaufman. Hammonds will tap it over to Overton County. He'll play it across with Hauser, taking it down. She took it across on the first pass, and then they took it right back to Trinity Hauser, and she found the open spot on the floor for Overton County, and the point for the Lady Wildcats to move them in front 20-9. Hammonds to serve. Harper will play this one across. Played in the back row by Avery Trace. Taken across by Overton County, though, is playing across as Paul. Ford will tap it to Davidson. Hammonds is there. She'll tap it across to Jones, played by Hammonds. Set by Lee. Lee then to Paul, who'll take it across. Free ball here for Overton County. Kaufman to Paul. She'll bump it across. Played in the back row by Avery Trace. Hauser tries to tap it up. Saved by Paul. Taken across by Lee. Davidson sets in the back row to Klaus. Right back to Paul. Played across on a diving effort by Avery Trace. Paul again will tap it over and will get the kill as Klaus can't get to that one. Kraus can't get to that one. So it's a point for Overton County. Good effort in the back row by Brooklyn Wigand on a couple of plays by Avery Trace, but Overton County gets the finish on the well-hit ball by the Lady Wildcats, and now Hammonds to serve once again. She'll drop it to Davidson. Kaufman will get to it, and Paul can't take it across on the second pass. So the point going to go to Avery Trace as they'll get number 4, Josie Ford, out to serve. Kraus going to sit down. Chloe Sullivan will come in replacing her. Ford to serve for the Lady Raiders. And that one goes into the net for the point for Overton County. They'll get number 12, Aubrey Garrett, back on the floor. She'll replace Aaliyah Paul. Back row, front row substitution as Garrett coming in to serve with Lady Wildcats. Aubrey plays this one deep in the back row. Avery Trace with a good pass. Davidson across in 2, and she'll drop it down. Good pass there from Newton to Davidson, and Davidson able to drop it right behind the front row and get the point for Avery Trace as they'll get a sub in the ball game. Number 14, Leona Warren, going to check back in, replacing Hadley Newton. Newton to serve. Newton plays it on the far side, and that's in for a point for Avery Trace. No, they call it out. I think the official there thought it was in, but the guy on the stand that matters didn't. And Annabelle Flowers is going to check back in. She'll come in replacing Mila Hill. Stepping out to serve is Jayla Rudd. Rudd to serve with Lady Wildcats. Now they'll get the substitution correct. Rudd drops this one right over the top of the net. Diving effort there by Warren. Tapped across by Avery Trace and down. Good effort there by Warren getting to it. Then Sullivan will tap it across for Avery Trace, and Baylor Davidson will step out to serve. Hattie Sailor's coming back in. She'll replace Wagon. Davidson serves it across. Kaufman will take it right back to Davidson. Sullivan taps it up in the air. Tapped across by Warren. Diving effort by Garrett in the back row. Kaufman. One-handed dig there by Ford, but Sullivan can't take it across, and the point going to go to Overton County to set up game point here in game 1. As Alan Lee will try to serve them out right here. Lee, the left-hander, will go for the line on this near side. Ford will pop it up in the air. Now Jones to Davidson, tapped across, but then taken over by Kaufman, and the point for Overton County and the game for Overton County. Overton County wins game 1, 25-12 over Avery Trace. We'll have game 2 coming up in just a moment. We move quickly now to game 2 in this best 2 out of 3 match. as Overton County going to go back with number 13, Jayla Rudd, number 12, Aubrey Garrett, number 14, Harper Hammonds, also number 20, Alan Lee, number 15, Brayley Kaufman is the serve from Rudd, going to be played by Sailors, tapped across and taken over by Flowers, who is the last starter for Overton County. Flowers will tap it deep in the back row and just misses long for the point for Avery Trace. So it is Garrett, Rudd, Kaufman, Flowers, Lee, and Hammonds. The same six that started game one start game two for Overton County. Baylor Kate Davidson to serve for Avery Trace. As this one going to be taken by Flowers, tapped it up, tried to get it to Kaufman, couldn't do so, and it's going to be a point for Avery Trace to move them in front 3-0. Davidson going to be joined by the same starters again: Addie Lynn Jones, Josie Ford, Leona Warren, Hattie Saylor, and Lola Kraus. Good serve there. Going to be an ace for Baylor Kate Davidson. Coach put BK in parentheses, so I'm assuming she goes by that. BK with the toss. Kaufman, no, it's going to be Hammonds diving to get to it, but she can't keep it in bounds. And the point going to go to Avery Trace. Avery Trace scored the first two of game one. Overton County came back and won that one 25-12. Now they jump out 4-0 in game two. Davidson. Kaufman will play this one. Garrett will try to save it, but they can't tap it across. That's going to be a point for Avery Trace. So Davidson to serve once again. This one going to go below the net, though. So a point here for Overton County as they get on the board for the first time. And Alan Lee will serve for the Lady Wildcats. She got them started on her serve in the last game. Ford will get to it. Now, Warren will tap it to Davidson, but they can't take it across, and the point going to go to Overton County to get them their first serve to cut the lead down to 3 at 5-2. Lee serving once again. Back row to Ford. Davidson will tap it across, and then Kaufman going to catch it when it trickles over the net. I think it kind of fooled Brayley a little bit. And once it got to her, she held it too long, and the catch going to be called, and the point going to go to Avery Trace, and the serve going to go to Avery Trace as Lola Kraus will step out to serve. Lee pops this one up to Kaufman. Kaufman in the back row, Davidson. Now Sailors. Free ball here for Overton County. It's taken over by Kraus. Right back by Kaufman, tapped up by Hammonds. Flowers will tap it across to Davidson. Now to Overton County's side, to Flowers. Back to Davidson. She'll set Sailors. Sailors now to Warren. Warren going to be dug. Garrett will hustle to try to get to it, but can't do so. And the point going to go to Avery Trace. Good effort by Aubrey Garrett, but it's going to be a point for the Lady Raiders to extend their lead to 5 at 7-2. Kraus to serve once again. Good serve. Flowers can't control it, and the point going to go to the Lady Raiders. They're rolling on the serve right now. This game to 25 as well. Then if there is a game 3, it will be to 15. You must win by 2. Deep serve here. Lee can't control it, and the point going to go to Avery Trace, and Overton County going to take a timeout. They'll call it here in game 2 with Avery Trace with the big lead, leading 9-2. We'll take a timeout as well. Avery Trace off to a good start here in game 2 as they trail 1 game to none, as Overton County won 25-12 in game 1. Kraus to serve once again. And that one goes in the net, so a good timeout there by Coach Christy Jenkins to kind of break the momentum a little bit. As stepping out to serve now will be Hattie Sailors. Sailors to serve with Lady Wildcats with her team trailing by 6, 9-3. Sailors is going to serve that one out of bounds on the sideline. With the point to go to Avery Trace, and they'll bring in Hadley Newton checking back in. She'll come in replacing Leona Warren. So Newton stepping out to serve. A 7-point game here in game 2 with Avery Trace leading. Rudd pops it up to Lee. And then a little indecision there as Flowers and Paul, neither one took control. And the point going to go to Avery Trace. Sailors. That's not Sailors, that's Newton serving. Lee. Hammonds will try to save it, but can't do so. So another point off the serve of Hadley Newton will extend the lead to 9 at 12-3. Newton to serve once again for Avery Trace. This one played by Kaufman to Davidson. Now tapped across by Jones. Flowers takes it right back. They'll tap it across to Paul. Diving effort there by Newton. Then tapped across by Rudd. Right back to Flowers. Now to Davidson. Davidson to Hammonds. Hammonds now to Kraus. Popped up and over to Paul. And Paul will drop it across and it'll go down as Kraus can't get to it. Aaliyah Paul with the kill there for Overton County to stop that long rally for a middle school JV team, and the point going to go to Overton County as Annabelle Flowers will step out to serve. Or she does. No, she's not going to serve. Number 26, Ann Cahill will check in for Flowers to serve. So Cahill will come in to serve. Lady Wildcats, an 8-point Avery Trace lead, 12-4. Cahill serves this one to Ford. Popped up to Kraus. Davidson will take it across. Paul then can't control that one, and the point going to go to Avery Trace. Extends the lead back to 9 at 13-4 as the Lady Raiders have the lead here, and the serve is stepping out to serve is Hattie Sailors for Avery Trace. This one just over the top of the net. Lee will pop it up in the air, but Hauser can't control it. And the point going to go to Avery Trace. Got the top of the net. 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been a serve. But now with the rule changes that came in about that long ago, it's an ace for Hattie Sailors, and she'll get the serve again. Deep serve. That's in for the ace once again for Sailors. Couple of good serves from Hattie Sailors to extend the lead to 11 at 15-4. Sailors to serve again. Plays this one to Cahill. Now Hauser will try to tap it across, but taps it out of bounds. Touch last by Overton County. Point will go to Avery Trace. Sailors to serve once again. They've taken a 12-point lead, 16-4 here in game 2. Sailors plays that one down the line and misses wide for the point for Overton County. So the Lady Wildcats will get the point and the serve as Harper Hammonds will step out to serve. Sailors going to leave the floor as Brooklyn Wigand will come in to replace her. Hammonds trying to get Overton County back in this here. As Harper stepping out to serve. They lead 1-0, but would love to close it out in 2 games and not have to play a game 3. This one tapped across by Ford. Hammonds will pop it up. Cahill now to Lee. Will that one get across? It will. Tapped up. Davidson will take it across, but getting in the net is going to be Addie Lynn Jones when she tried to play that one very close to the net, and the point will go to Overton County. Hammonds to serve once again. Hammonds, tough serve, and Davidson can't control it. Caught the net, dropped over, caused the catch by B.K. Davidson, and the point going to go to Overton County. Hammonds to serve once again. Harper plays this one on the far side, but that one's wide and out of bounds for the point for Avery Trace. They extend the lead to 11 once again, 18-7, or 17-7. It's a 10-point lead. As stepping out to serve will be Josie Ford. Ford, good serve. Cahill will pop it up, and Hammonds and Kaufman can't get to it that time, and the point going to go to Avery Trace. Ford, deep serve this time. Cahill is there. Lee will set it. Oh, it goes across. Tapped over by Jones and played back across by Paul. Now Kaufman will take it across. Davidson taps it across in 2. Kaufman is there. She'll play it across in 1 to Wigan. Back to Davidson. They'll set in the middle to Jones, and she hits it in the net with a point for Overton County to cut the lead back to 11 at 18-7. Allen Lee stepping out to serve once again for Overton County. Before she does, though, Aubrey Garrett going to come back in for Overton County, and Overton County is going to take a timeout. They'll call it, trailing by 10. It's Avery Trace 18, Overton County 8. The Avery Trace lead is 10, 18-8. Here in game 2. Varsity action coming up after this one is wrapped up here on Overton Events. If you're enjoying our coverage of Lady Wildcat Junior High Volleyball, go to our YouTube page, subscribe, go to our Facebook page, and follow us. Garrett serves it for an ace right in the middle of the floor. Wigan and Newton both going at it, then kind of backed away. A little miscommunication there, and the point goes to Overton County. Garrett to serve once again. Aubrey. Short serve, doesn't get there. Thought it was going to drop right across the net, but didn't get across, and the point going to go to Avery Trace, and they'll get Leona Warren back on the floor. She'll replace Hadley Newton. Stepping out to serve is going to be Addie Lynn Jones. Jones with the serve. The back row to Hammonds. That's off the roof, and that caused Garrett to not be able to get there. Went off the support beam, and to change the angle that the ball was coming in, the point will go to Avery Trace. Jones to serve once again. Jones on the line and in for the point for the Lady Raiders. Point goes to Avery Trace to extend their lead to 11 at 20-9. Jones stepping out to serve. Jones to Garrett, tapped across by Kaufman, popped up by Hauser. Kaufman will take it in the back row, and Jones can't control it. Kaufman A little something on that one going into the back row, and Jones trying to get to it, couldn't do so, and the point going to go to Overton County as Jayla Rudd going to check in. She'll replace Trinity Hauser. Rudd to serve. It's a 10-point game, but Avery Trace is only 4 points away from the game, and that one goes into the net to get them a point closer at 22-10. Wagon going to sit down. Sailor's going to come in replacing her. As Davidson will step out to serve. Davidson, short serve. Hoffman is there. Taps it back, but taps it out of bounds. The bump across the net going out of bounds for the point for Avery Trace. Davidson to serve once again. Kaufman will get to this one. Cahill trying to tap it across. Will play it in the net. Then, that was Hammonds that played it first. And Kaufman tried to save it out of the net. Couldn't do so, and the point going to go to Avery Trace as Flowers going to check back in. She'll replace Cahill. Davidson, game point here for Avery Trace. Short serve goes into the net. So it's down to Allen Lee having to serve it out here because a defensive stop will get game 2 for Avery Trace. Lee, left-hander, serves it on the far side, catches the line. No, it was out, they said, for the point and the game for Avery Trace. So Avery Trace evens it up. They win game 2, 25-11. We'll have the deciding game 3 coming up in just a moment. We move to game 3 in this matchup between Overton County and Avery Trace. Overton County won game 1, 25-12. Avery Trace won game 2, 25-11. The Lady Raiders also won the coin toss, so they will get the serve to start game 3. And B.K. Davidson got them off to a good start in game 2, and she's going to try to do so again here in game 3. Davidson Short serve this time. Popped up by Flowers. Tapped across by Kaufman. Avery Trace will control. Tapped over by Warren, but tapped right back by Lee. Davidson, quick push in two, and a smart move by B.K. Davidson. Caught the Overton County front line at the net. Tapped it right across that front line and dropped it down for the point for Avery Trace to get them in front early, 1-0 here in game two. Davidson serving again. Short serve here, doesn't get there. Evens the game at 1-1. Alan Lee now trying to give Overton County a lead here in game three. Serves on the far side, played there by Kraus, right in the net. Davidson will save it out to Warren, who taps it across. Tapped right back by Garrett. Then they take it back across to Flowers. Davidson will get it back from Kraus. Garrett will pass to Kaufman, who'll tap it across to Davidson. Davidson now will see that one hit into the net for a point for Overton County to move them in front. Now by 2-1, as they have their first lead of game three. Lee serves back row. Diving effort there, but out of bounds. Off the bump attempt by Josie Ford for the point for Overton County. Lee in game one, her serve at Overton County. A big lead. This one played in the back row by Jones to Davidson. Davidson sets Kraus, and Kraus hits it too deep for the point for Overton County. That one sailed on Kraus, and the point goes the Lady Wildcats to move them in front 4-1. Lee, short serve this time. Played by Warren to Jones, and Jones can't control that one. And the point going to go to Overton County. Lady Wildcats to serve. As stepping out will be Alan Lee. Lee plays this one back row to Ford. Tapped up by Avery Trace. Kaufman will pop it up in the air, but Hammonds can't pull it out of the net. And the point going to go to Overton County, rather to Avery Trace. Serve goes back to Avery Trace as Lola Kraus will step out to serve with her team trailing by 3, 5-2. Kraus serves this one middle of the floor to Lee. Now Kaufman pops it up to Hammonds, who can't tap it across. Kaufman trying to set Hammonds there. That will be a point for Avery Trace as Lola Kraus will try to cut this lead to 1 on her serve here. Kraus, good serve there. Played in the back row by Rudd, but it's tapped out of bounds by Rudd, and the point going to go to Avery Trace. And Overton County wants a timeout. They'll call it here in game 3. It's Avery Trace 5, Overton County 4. Avery Trace has cut the lead back to 1 at 5-4 here in this deciding game 3. It's a 13-point Overton County win in game 1. A 14-point Avery Trace lead win in game 2. That one tapped across by Overton County. Davidson pops it up for Sailors. Rudd is there for Overton County. Flowers. Well, it's that Hammonds who taps it across. Tapped over and won by Jones. Played by Lee. Tapped across now by Kaufman. Davidson will take it right back to Garrett. Garrett now to Kaufman, who taps it across. Dug by Davidson. Rudd is there. Can Garrett save it? Garrett will. Kaufman will push it across, but Davidson is there. Kaufman takes it right back across to Davidson. Davidson in the middle now to Sailors. To Kaufman. And Kaufman will spike it down for Overton County. Braley Kaufman with the kill for the Lady Wildcats to get the serve back and get the point for Overton County. Good rally there between these two middle school teams, though, as Aaliyah Paul will check back in. She'll replace Aubrey Garrett. Kaufman to serve. for Overton County. Plays this one back row where Jones is there. Davidson sets in the middle, tapped across by Sailors. Paul will tap it right back to where Sailors left from. Aaliyah Paul just finding that open spot right in the middle of the floor with a point for Overton County. Kaufman to serve. Now for the Lady Wildcats. Kaufman serves just across the net and catches the line for the ace for Braley Kaufman. Extends the lead to 4 now at 8-4 here in game 3 as Kaufman to serve once again. She'll play this one deep. Played in the back row by Krause. Davidson pushes across, but Kaufman is there. Hammond's going to set Paul. Paul will tap it over, but taps it out of bounds for the point for Avery Trace. Lady Raiders going to get Hadley Newton back in the game. She'll replace Leona Warren. Newton coming in to serve for the Lady Raiders. It's a 3-point Overton County lead, 8-5. Newton serves to Kaufman, who pops it up in the air. Rudd. Now to Hammonds. Hammonds taps it across. Krause is there. Jones back set to Sailors. Kaufman will tap it across in 1. Krause is there. Davidson sets in the middle. Jones, and that's off Lee with a kill for Avery Trace. Addie Lynn Jones. The kill there for the Lady Raiders to cut the lead down to 2 at 8-6. And a good matchup between these two JV teams here to open up the season. Newton to serve once again. Rudd taps it across. And that's double contact by Josie Ford. He didn't blow the whistle. I think he got a little confused up in the chair that time, but it is 2 contacts by Josie Ford. So the point, Overton County, and the serve to Overton County is Rudd going to sit down. Coming to replace her will be Trinity Hauser. Flowers going to sit down. Mila Hill will come in replacing her to serve. Hill serves in the middle to Newton. Davidson with the bump set to Sailors. Pushes across to Kaufman. Kaufman goes in the back row to Newton. Davidson going to set in the middle to Ford. Ford dug in the back row by Kaufman. Hill now at the net. A joust there, and it's won by Avery Trace. Don't think it ever got across the net for them to get the official block, but the point going to go to Avery Trace, as that will cut it back to 2 at 9-7, and Hattie Sailors will step out to serve. Sailors, deep serve off Kaufman for the point for Avery Trace. Point for the Lady Raiders, cuts it to 1 at 9-8. And Overton County will use their second timeout. Back after the timeout as Avery Trace trying to tie it up on the serve of Hattie Sailors for the Lady Raiders as she steps out to serve here in this one. And a good one between these two. Sailors. Serve going to be an ace. Drops in right on the line for Hattie Sailors to tie the game at 9 apiece. In this one, the game goes to 15. You must win by 2. Sailors just across the top of the net and down. with a point for Sailors on back-to-back ace serves by Hattie Sailors. Avery Trace takes the lead at 10-9. Sailors. That one's out. Oh, no. The line judge set in with a point for Avery Trace. I couldn't see it. Coach Jenkins standing right there signaled out as Mila Hill going to sit down. Annabelle Flowers going to come in replacing her. Sailors has given them a 2-point lead on her serve at 11-9. Sailors, this one served long and out. Too long that time for the point for Overton County as Brooklyn Wigan going to check back in. She'll replace Hattie Sailors. 1 point Avery Trace lead as Harper Hammonds to serve now for the Lady Wildcats. Short serve, doesn't get across. Thought it was going to drop right across in a tough spot for Avery Trace, but just catches the top of the net and kicks back. And the lead at 2 and the match at 3 points now for Avery Trace. Ford serves this one to Kaufman. Tapped up by Paul, and then Paul hits it twice. Double contact there by Overton County. So the point goes to Avery Trace, and they're 2 games away, or they're 2 points away from this match. This one served in the back row. Flowers will pop it up to Paul. Paul takes it across and finds the open floor. Aaliyah Paul saw Avery Trace creeping up, found that back row wide open, drops it in for the point for Overton County to cut it back to 2 now at 13-11. And Aubrey Garrett coming in to serve for the Lady Wildcats. 2-point Avery Trace lead as Garrett tries to get them closer. Aubrey serves it middle of the floor, played there by Avery Trace, tapped back across by Kaufman, played again by Ford. Davidson outside to Jones. Flowers will tap this one to Hauser, tapped across by Garrett. Davidson sets Jones, pushes across. Flowers is there. Lee going to set Kaufman, taps across, dug there by Newton, but it drops for the point for Overton County. Cuts the lead to 1 at 13-12 as Garrett stepping out to serve once again. Garrett plays this one to Davidson, right back to Garrett. Aubrey will tap it back across. Jones takes it over, but out of bounds, and that will tie the game at 13. 13-13 here in game 3 as Aubrey Garrett trying to give Overton County a lead here. They are now 2 points away from winning this match. Garrett serves in the middle to Newton. Davidson back to Newton, who'll tap it across back row, and Flowers can't get to it. Point to Avery Trace. They'll serve for the game and the match. Before they do, though, Leona Warren going to check back in, replacing Newton. Addie Lynn Jones trying to serve this one out for Avery Trace. Jones takes this one across, but out of bounds. We're tied at 14 here in game 3. You must win by 2. So they got to have 2 points here as I think they're going to get a sub here as Overton County. As Jayla Rudd going to come back in replacing Hauser. Had to get the serving correct here as Rudd come in to serve with Lady Wildcats. Jayla plays this one across. That one tapped up by Warren. Tapped across. Kaufman takes it back across to Sullivan. Pushed across back to Kaufman. To Lee. Back to Kaufman. Kaufman off the hands of Ford and down for the point for Overton County. These young kids think they've won, but they're not there yet. You got to win by 2. They're just learning the game, but the enthusiasm is great from these youngsters as Rudd will try to serve it out here. Rudd takes this one across. That one tapped up by Sullivan. That one's down. Now they can roll on the floor if they want to, and that's what Coach Jenkins says as Overton County wins it in Game 3, 16-14. They win Game 1, 25-12. Win Game 2, 20 or lose. Avery Trace wins Game 2, 25-11. Overton County comes back and wins Game 3, 16-14 to start their season 1-0 here in junior high volleyball. Going to be about 10 minutes. We'll have a little break here and we'll come back. We'll have the varsity matchup between Overton County and Avery Trace in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the varsity matchup between Overton County and Avery Trace. As a good one in the JV matchup, as Overton County won that one in 2 sets. They won set 1, 25-12. Avery Trace won set 2, 25-11. Overton County comes back and wins set 3, 16-14. As we get ready for this matchup here, Overton County, they will start number 9, Marley Dishman. Number 11, Ava Whited. Number 16, Bella Robertson. Number 22, Carly Ledbetter. Number 25, Bella Harris. And number 31, Tatum Melton, the starting 6 for Overton County. They're coached by Christy Jenkins. She is assisted by Hannah Hammonds and Christy Hammonds. For Avery Trace, they'll start number 11, Sunny Fliss Mayberry. Number 17, Addie Clark. Number 18, Patience Judd. Number 20, Addie Atnip. Number 21, Ava Gist. And number 22, Abby Simonis, the starting 6 for Coach Jordan Highway and assistant coach Allie Keever for the Lady Raiders of Avery Trace. Overton County dressed in the royal blue, the white numbers, the white trim. Avery Trace dressed in the navy blue, the white numbers, the red trim on the uniforms for the Lady Raiders as we get ready for this varsity matchup. Both teams opening the season here tonight on Overton Events. Happy to have you with us, whether you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook. We're happy that you've joined us. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so. If you're on Facebook, follow us and give us a like on Facebook as well if you enjoy our coverage. Addie Clark stepping out to serve for the Lady Raiders. Official has everything he needs, and we're ready to get this one underway. As Clark will serve to start game 1. Clark going to be played in the back row by Harris, tapped over by Ledbetter, played now by Avery Trace. They'll push it across to Harris. Harris now the set by Melton to Dishman. Dishman will play it off of Avery Trace, but the Lady Raiders will get it across. Harris is there. Melton going to be called for the catch, and the point going to go to Avery Trace. So the Lady Raiders score the first point of the night, and they move in front 1-0 on the serve of Addie Clark. Play the best 2 out of 3 as Clark will serve this one back row. They'll dive to get to it. Whited will save it. They'll tap it across and out of bounds for a point for Avery Trace. As Clark with a couple of points on her serve. Serves this one in the back row to Harris. Dishman now taps it to the net, but no one is there for the point for Avery Trace. Clark serving once again. Serves this one back row to Harris again. Played by Whited. Whited back to Harris. He'll take it across, but hits it wide for a point for Avery Trace. Lady Raiders off to a fast start here in game 1. They lead 4-0 here in game 1. Clark going to move on the service line and move over to this near side. Go anywhere you want to out of bounds there. And that one off of Robertson for the point for Avery Trace. Clark, 5 straight points to begin the game on her serve. In the jump serve. Harris can't get to it. Point going to go to Avery Trace. And Overton County going to take a timeout. They'll call it as Avery Trace has gotten off to a fast start. They lead it 6-0. We'll take this break. We'll be back in just a moment. Avery Trace trying to continue their roll to start game one. As Addie Clark to serve once again. Clark played in the back row by Whited. Harris now will pop it up, hit the beam though, and down for the point for Avery Trace. Those supports come into play a lot here at Livingston Academy. If it stays on the team side that hits it into the beam and you still have another contact, you can hit it. As this one in the back row going to be an ace for Clark. If it hits a beam and goes across, then it doesn't count. 8-0. Avery Trace leading on the serve of Addie Clark. Played in the back row by Harris. Pops it up. Little indecision there in the back row. The point will go to Avery Trace. Clark. Serving once again. Back row Harris will pass it to Melton. Now Dishman will tap it over. Clark is there. Popped up in the air for Clark. Clark trying to find open room. Melton there. Harris will take it across in two. Doug in the back row. Clark with the back set to Simonis. Taking across, but Harris is there. Clark diving effort, but can't get to it. Well, that's a good effort by Addie Clark. Bella Harris finding the open spot to finally break that run of Avery Trace and get the serve for Overton County for the first time as Carly Ledbetter going to step out to serve for the Lady Wildcats. Ledbetter on this near side, popped up by Gist. Now to Clark, going back to Gist. She'll just punch it across. There is Robertson. Then Dishman will take it down for the kill for Overton County. Marley Dishman gained the finish. Bella Robertson gained the pass off that play by Gist, and the point will go to Overton County for their second straight. Ledbetter. His serve is going to be short for a point for Avery Trace. The point to the Lady Raiders. It also gets them the serve back as Abby Simonis will step out to serve for the Lady Raiders. Simonis, deep serve, played there by Robertson. Now that's Robertson. That was Whited with it initially. Tapped across by Overton County, but out of bounds. New player out there for Avery Trace, numbers 26, Josie Kate Williams, checked in. Leaving was Addie Atnip. Simonis, short serve. Whited is there. Dishman will tap it across. Played across by Avery Trace. Harris will take it across. Set up by Avery Trace. Dug in the back row by Ledbetter. Melton then has it go through her fingers for the point for Avery Trace. Lady Raiders back out by 10 now at 12-2. Simonis deep in the corner. Diving effort by Whited, but she can't get to it. Off the bump of Ava Whited, it will be a point for Avery Trace. Simonis. Back row Whited. Pops it up to Melton. Melton sets Dishman in the middle over the top of the front row. Diving effort in the back row by Simonis to get there. Gist will take it across, but hits it out of bounds. Gist playing it, tried to catch that sideline. Couldn't do so, and it goes out of bounds with a point for Overton County, and the serve for Lady Wildcats, Tatum Melton. Melton, the back row, Simonis, right on top of the net, but Clark can't tap it across, and the point will go to Overton County. Melton stepping out to serve. Plays it back row, Simonis again. Clark going to sit. Judd goes across in the back row to Ledbetter, but then that second pass, they can't pick it up, and the point going to go to Avery Trace. Lady Raiders got off to a great start on the first serve of the game by Addie Clark as Patience Judd will sit down. Abby Dyer will come in replacing her. Dyer will come in to serve. Avery Trace dresses only 8. They played all 8 here tonight. Dyer, good serve. Whited will get there. Harris, bump set. Dishman will take it across. Clark, diving effort. Tapped across by Gist. Overton County trying to get there with Harris and Whited diving at it. They can't control it, and the point going to go to Avery Trace. Extend their lead to 11 at 15-4. Dyer to serve once again. Coach Highway coming up to ask the scorers something. Jordan Highway, the head coach of Avery Trace. She's assisted by Allie Keever. Overton County coached by Christy Jenkins. She's assisted by Hannah Hammonds and Christy Hammonds. As the JV game, Overton County won that one in 3 sets. They won set 1, 25-12. Avery Trace won set 2, 25-11. And Overton County won set 3, 16-14. They're changing something there in the lineup at the table. Not sure what that is. And if you're watching us on Facebook, we're on there now. Follow our page. Give us a like as the referee coming down to check something. Make sure that everything's all right. Everybody gives them the thumbs up, so we're good to go. I'm not sure what the discussion was about. It's an 11-point Avery Trace lead, 15-4. As Dyer to serve once again. Abby Dyer serving. Back row, it is Ledbetter diving after it. Saved by Melton. Taken across by Whited. Played by Dyer. Clark. Back set to Williams. Dug in the back row by Ledbetter. Dyer now to Dishman. Just across. Tapped across by Avery Trace, but tapped out by Overton County. Hit out of bounds by the Lady Wildcats for the point for Avery Trace. Best rally of the match, though, between these two. The lead goes to 12, though, at 16-4. Dyer. This one going to drop on the sideline for the ace for Abby Dyer. (17-4). The lead extends to 13 here in game 1. This one's going to be a diving effort by Melton trying to get to it, but can't do so. And the point going to go to Avery Trace. Dyer to serve once again. Deep in the back row. Ledbetter will play it to Dishman. Dishman takes it across to Clark. Clark will get it back. Taps across. Dug. That time by Robertson. Tapped by Harris. Will it get in bounds? It will now. As it's out of bounds for the point for Avery Trace as they move in front 19-4. Whited. Now to Melton. Tapped across by Robertson and down. Pretty placement there by Bella Robertson. Taking that one across to drop it for the point for Overton County. As they will get the point. Need a big run here on the serve of Marley Dishman, though. Just 19-5, Avery Trace lead here in game 1. That's 2 out of 3. You go to 25, you must win by 2 in games 1 and 2, and that's an ace for Dishman. In game 3, if there is a game 3, you go to 15. You still must win by 2. Marley with a pretty serve to get them started. On her serve, trying to rally the Lady Wildcats here. Dishman played by Avery Trace. Takes it across. Robertson sets Harris. Harris dug in the back row by Dyer, but it drops. Dyer able to pop it up. Then Simonis trying to get to it. Couldn't do so. And the point going to go to Overton County. Dishman. Back-to-back points off the serve of the 8th grader. Deep serve off the hands of Dyer and out of bounds. Too close to let hit. And I think Dyer thought about it for a moment. I think it would have been in bounds, then changed her mind, and once she did, she couldn't get there. And the point goes to Overton County. Dishman serving once again. On the side, Dyer to Clark. Clark with the back set to Williams, pushes into the net. Williams tried to shoot that one in the back row on the side, couldn't do so. And the point will go to Overton County. 19-10 here in game 1. Dishman serving once again. That's an ace. Just barely over the top of the net, dropping as it got there. And the timeout going to be called by Avery Trace. 19-10. I think it should be 19-11. They haven't changed it. Timeout called by the Lady Raiders. We'll be back in just a moment. Timeout taken by Avery Trace as Marley Dishman has scored. They've got 4 straight on the board, but I thought it was 19-10 before that last serve. Nobody's arguing but me, so I must be the one wrong. But Dishman will serve here, trying to make it an 8-point game. Dishman deep serve and just misses long. Dyer made the correct decision that time. As again, it was very close, but let it go and it was long. And now Ava Gist to serve for Avery Trace. 20-10, Avery Trace. Gist, jump serve. Out of bounds for the point for Overton County. So Bella Harris stepping out to serve now for the Lady Wildcats. And she'll serve for the first time today. Now they've got the 11 up there. Well, that was off that serve. Harris, played by Clark. Gist, going to set Clark. Clark swinging away, dug by Harris. Robertson, now too whited, but she can't take it across. Too low on the pass there for Whited to be able to get across the net. And the point going to go to Avery Trace. Before they serve, though, Addie Atnip going to come back in. She'll replace Josie Kate Williams. Atnip to serve. 4 points away from set 1. Atnip in the back row to Dishman. Harris. Now to Dishman, who takes it across. Diving effort there by Avery Trace. Popping up Atnip. Unable to get to it is Gist, and the point going to go to Overton County. Lady Wildcats to serve with Bella Robertson stepping out to serve for Overton County. They've got to 9 here again, 21-12. Robertson taps it across. That's right on top of the net. Doesn't get across. Simonis hit that one on the net cord at the top of the net. And the point will go to Overton County as it stayed on the Avery Trace side. And now Robertson to serve once again. Bella plays this one across. Dangerous serve. Gist will pop it up. Pushed across by Mayberry and down. Sunny Fliss Mayberry able to get that one across and down. So Fliss Mayberry will get the point for Avery Trace as Patience Judd going to check back in. She'll replace Abby Dyer. 22-13. Avery Trace leading here in game one. This one played by Robertson. Harris will dive to try to save it, but can't do so. Point going to go to Avery Trace. 2 points away from set one here in this game. Bliss Mayberry, the serve. This would hit the back row. Harris can't control it. And a handcuffed her on that one as she wanted to bump the pass. And it was a little deeper than she thought. Tried to go overhand and couldn't control it. And the point going to set up set point for Avery Trace as Bliss Mayberry serves this one. Soft serve, trying to drop it across. And it'll drop for the point for Avery Trace as they'll win game one, set one by a foul. Oh, wait a minute. They do win it 25-13 in set one. The official had stopped play. I didn't know if it was over or not, but they say it is, and that is set one. Avery Trace wins it 25-13. We'll have set two coming up right after this. Get ready to move on to game two now as Avery Trace wins set one. I'll get that where I'm saying it correctly here in a little bit. As set one goes to Avery Trace 25-13. For Avery Trace, they're going to start the same six. Number 11, Sunny Fliss Mayberry. Number 17, Addie Clark. Number 18, Patience Judd. Number 20, Addie Atnip. Number 21, Ava Gist. Number 22, Abby Simonis. The starting six for Avery Trace. For Overton County, it's number 9, Marley Dishman. Number 11, Ava Whited. Number 16, Bella Robertson. Number 22, Carly Ledbetter. Number 25, Bella Harris. And number 31, Tatum Melton. The starting five for Overton County in this varsity matchup. JV matchup earlier, Overton County won that one 2-1. They won set one 25-12. Avery Trace won set two 25-11. Overton County comes back and wins set three 16-14 to win the game 2-1. Overton County coached by Christy Jenkins, longtime head coach of the high school Lady Wildcats. She's in her second year as the junior high head coach. She's assisted by Hannah Hammonds and Christy Hammonds. Avery Trace, coached by Jordan Highway and Allie Keever, the coaches for the Lady Raiders. Avery Trace dressed in the navy blue, the white numbers, the red trim. Overton County dressed in the royal blue, the white numbers, the white trim on the basketball uniforms. Happy to have you with us here on Overton Events as we are underway with our fall sports coverage here on Overton Events. We had high school soccer on Thursday night for you. We've got high school soccer coming up this Thursday. Also, junior high football coming up this Thursday as the Overton County Junior Wildcats will have their home opener on Thursday night against Macon County. The Lady Wildcats soccer team will play against Concord Christian. Those games will be played on August the 10th if you're watching this later and not watching it live or not watching before Thursday, August the 10th. Overton County to serve to start the game with Marley Dishman to get it started. Dishman serves middle of the back row where it is popped up by Atnip. Clark then can't take it across on the pass to Addie Clark, and Overton County will get in front in game 2 by a score of 1-0. Marley Dishman starting in the service box for Coach Christy Jenkins as she'll serve again here for the Lady Wildcats. Dishman, deep serve. Atnip will pass to Gist. Gist to Simonis. Simonis off the hands of Melton and out of bounds for the point for Avery Trace. That evens the score at 1 apiece here in game 2. As stepping out to serve will be Addie Clark. She got game 1 started with 9 straight points to start the game, and Overton County just couldn't recover. Clark, deep serve in the back row. Melton can't handle it, and the point going to go to Avery Trace. Back-to-back points by the Lady Raiders move them in front by 1 at 2-1. As Clark to serve once again. Clark, the back row, that's off of Ledbetter and out of bounds. Point going to go to Avery Trace. Clark has a tough serve. A little bit of a jump serve, kind of drops when it gets across the net. It's tough to handle. Clark. This one played in the middle by Melton. Robertson to Whited. Whited taps it across to Atnip. Clark. Now we'll set it outside to Gist, who can't get it across the top of the net. Caught the net cord a little behind her as she was falling to her left. Tried to cut it back into the middle of the floor. Couldn't get it across the top of the net. And the point going to go to Overton County, and the serve going to go to Bella Harris. Bella stepping out to serve for the Lady Wildcats. This one going to be played by Judd. Then Clark will dive to try to get to it. Natnip will take it across. Harris now will tap it across, and that's down. Gist might have mistimed her jump a little bit right there. And it'll drop for a point for Overton County to tie the set at 3-3. Harris to serve once again. Bella plays it across to Gist. Clark coming back to Gist. Gist then can't tap it across. Point going to go to Overton County as they'll move in front again by 1, 4-3. Harris. This one doesn't make it across for the point for Avery Trace. Ties the game at 4 apiece as Josie Kate Williams will check back in. She'll replace Addie Atnip. Deep serve from Simonis. Harris to Robertson. Wide in the middle, over the block. Simonis is there. Clark sets outside to Williams, swinging away with the left hand, but hits it into the net for the point for Overton County. Bella Robertson stepping out to serve for the Lady Wildcats. Bella looking to add to the 1-point Overton County lead. She'll serve this one across. Williams to Clark. Clark back to Williams. This one's going to be down on the touch by Marley Dishman. Point will go to Avery Trace to tie the game at 5-5. Abby Dyer will check in for Avery Trace. She'll come in replacing Patience Judd. Dyer coming in to play the back row. Judd plays the front row. As Dyer trying to give Avery Trace a lead here in this game, too. Soft serve doesn't get there. Mishit that one, did Abby Dyer, and the point will go back to Overton County, and Ava Whited to serve now for the Lady Wildcats. Whited, middle of the floor, Gist, played by Simonis. Gist will take it across. Harris in the back row to Melton. Melton outside to Ledbetter. To Simonis in the back row. Clark sets Gist. Gist taps it across, but Whited is there. Robertson. Now nobody got there. Little miscommunication there as nobody took control. And the point going to go to Avery Trace. That ties it up at 6 apiece. And the serve going to Ava Gist. Gist to serve for the Lady Raiders. Trying to put them in front here in game 2. They won game 1, 25-13. Gist. Harris will pop it up, but can't get it on the pass to a teammate. And the point going to go to Avery Trace and going to move them back in front by 1 at 7-6. Gist to serve once again. Jump serve from Gist to Harris. Popped up by Whited. Melton will tap it across in the back row, Simonis, but nobody is there. The setter never came and got it. And it'll drop to the floor for the point for Overton County. And Carly Ledbetter serve now for the Lady Wildcats. Ledbetter. Will it get there? It will not. It'll be a point for Avery Trace. That one doesn't get across the net. Addie Atnip checking back in. She'll replace Josie Kate Williams. Atnip coming in to serve again, that back row, front row substitution by the Lady Raiders. Atnip, tough serve. Ledbetter plays it well. Melton sets Harris outside, dug by Clark, but can't control it. Addie Clark was there, but too much on it from Bella Harris for the point for the Lady Wildcats to tie it again at 8 and get the serve now for Tatum Melton. Melton trying to put Overton County back in front here. Back rows Atnip will take it to the net. Point for Overton County will move them in front by 1 at 9-8. Melton to serve once again. Short serve. Popped up by Fliss Mayberry. Tapped across. Wyden is there. Now Harris will play it across to Atnip. Gist sets Clark. Clark to Melton. Dishman can't tap it over. Melton tried to make that pass to Marley Dishman, but just couldn't tap it across, and it's going to go to Avery Trace as Sonny Fliss Mayberry will step out to serve. Judd going to check back in. Sitting down will be Dyer. 9-9 your score. This one hit in the net for the point for Overton County. Lady Wildcats to serve with Marley Dishman stepping out to serve for Overton County. Much closer game than it was in game 1 as Dishman to serve right underneath the basketball goal. Marley. Back row, Fliss Mayberry to Gist. Clark will tap it in the back row, and that's down for a point for Avery Trace. Clark finding that open spot in the back corner for the point for the Lady Raiders. That gets her the serve. Also ties the game at 10 again. Addie Clark Short serve, doesn't make it. Point for Overton County in set 2. As they move back in front, 11-10. Bella Harris, the serve now for the Lady Wildcats. Harris, deep serve. Atnip is there. Clark, that's Gist. Gist taps across the block to Melton. That's close to the net. Tapped over by Whited. Dug by Clark. Simonis trying to go back to Atnip. It's a cross, but Harris is there. Clark going to push across again. Harris is there again. Robertson sets Whited, and that's down. Good effort by Bella Harris. Bella Robertson able to tap it to Ava Whited to get the kill for the Lady Wildcats and move them in front by 2 at 12-10. Harris trying to give them their biggest lead of the set. Bella serves it deep in the back row. Atnip will play it. Clark pops it up to Gist. Gist dug by Ledbetter. Whited going to tap it across. That's in a tough spot. Judd will pop it up, and they're going to call the lift on Patience Judd. Judd just reaching out with the one hand. They'll call the catch there, and the point will go to Overton County. Harris to serve once again. Bella to Judd. That's over to the Overton County side. Tapped down by Whited, though, as Judd can't control that one. Ava Whited able to get that one that Avery Trace took across and won and get it back over for the point for the Lady Wildcats. And now Harris to serve once again. Bella serves this one on the near side. Gist will play it. Simonis sets Clark. Clark hits it in the net. Never got across, and Overton County moves in front by 5 at 15-10. And a timeout going to be called by Avery Trace. The Lady Wildcats leading this one. We'll be back in just a moment. The Overton County lead is 5, 15-10 over Avery Trace as Bella Harris continuing to serve for Overton County. Deep serve played by Atnip. Clark outside Simonis hits it in the net. Simonis, that one never got across the top of the net, and the point will go to Overton County. Harris to serve once again. Bella trying to extend this Overton County lead. And doesn't get across. The toss was a little off on that one, and I think that threw off the serve. 6 straight points off the serve of Bella Harris, though, to give Overton County at the time a 6-point lead. That cuts it back to 5, and now Simonis to serve. Jump serve from Simonis. Back row Dishman. Played by Melton. Now Ledbetter will tap it across. Judd can't control it. Can they save it? They cannot. Melton able to get across to get the point for Overton County. And it will go on the serve to Robertson. Bella Robertson, the serve for the Lady Wildcats. Robertson. Oh, that one goes in the net. Point for Avery Trace to cut it back to 5 at 17-12. Looks like they're going to let Judd serve here, as Patience Judd will serve for Avery Trace. The serve will be played by Harris. Melton will set Ledbetter. Taps across and in. Carly Ledbetter finding the open spot on the sideline to get the point for Overton County and extend the lead back to 6 at 18-12. Ava Whited to serve now for Overton County. Whited played on the sideline by Williams. Simonis now to Dyer. That one hit the roof. Like I said, if it hits the roof and goes across, it doesn't count. If it hits the roof and stays on your side and you still have a contact to play it, then you can. But that one is a point for Overton County, and Ava Whited to serve. Whited can't get that one across, though, and the point going to go to Avery Trace. 19-13, the Overton County lead. Here in set 2. Avery Trace won set 1, 25-13. Gist to serve now for the Lady Raiders. Jump serve from Gist, doesn't make it across. And the point will go to Overton County. It'll be Carly Ledbetter to serve for the Lady Wildcats. Ledbetter, tough serve. And Williams can't handle it. Josie Kate Williams, that little dropping serve right over the top of the net. Couldn't get control, and the point going to go to Overton County. Ledbetter, the serve again. 21-13, the lead extends to 8. Ledbetter can't get that one across. Atnip going to check back in. Williams going to sit down. Addie Atnip will step out to serve for the Lady Raiders. 21-14 here in game 2. Avery Trace in the front. Atnip, jump serve to Ledbetter. Now Melton. Melton will set Dishman behind her, and Harris trying to help her out. Can't do so, and the point going to go to Avery Trace. Atnip trying to get them even closer. Jump serve, and that one goes in the net. So a point there for Overton County. And Tatum Melton stepping out to serve now. Melton taps it across to Simonis. Gist will run it down. Free ball here for Overton County. It doesn't come across. They couldn't tap it across, and the point going to go to the Lady Wildcats, as it'll be Melton stepping out to serve. Once again, 2 points away from set 2. Melton to Fliss Mayberry. That's right on top of the net. Dishman will tap it down. Fliss Mayberry may have touched it twice. That's going to be a point for Avery Trace. Coach Jenkins is saying the same thing. I think she touched it twice. But the official says no. And the point going to go to Avery Trace. Oh, that could be a big call right there. As Patience Judd will check in, replacing Abby Dyer. I can't say 100% that she touched it twice, but I think she did. Serve going to be right in the open spot on the floor for a point for Avery Trace to cut the lead down to 6. 23-17. As Sonny Fliss Mayberry able to find that open spot. And we'll try to get them even closer. Same spot. Melton is there this time. Robertson behind her head to Dishman. Dug there by Simonis. Clark outside. Melton will dig her. Harris will tap it across to Gist. Now Clark. Clark going to set. Clark who will set Atnip. This one tapped across by Ledbetter. Gist is there. But the pass from Atnip going to go underneath the net to set up set point for Overton County. And Marley Dishman started this set, and now we'll try to close it out at 24-17 and force a deciding game 3. Dishman to the sideline, and that's just out. Just missed on this near side. But the point and the serve goes to Avery Trace, and it goes to Addie Clark. We told you she's very tough on her serve. Well, Avery Trace probably wouldn't want anybody else there right now. But one mistake by the Lady Raiders, and Overton County wins this set. Ledbetter can't handle that one. It cuts the lead down to 5. 24-19. Overton County in front. Clark. The serve again. Jump serve from Addie. Back row Melton to Dishman. Now Whited will play it across. Clark is there. Can Judd get to it? She can't. That's a point. That's a set for Overton County as they win it 25-19 to tie this up at one set apiece. We'll have deciding set 3 coming up in just a moment. We move now to set 3. The deciding set, you go to 15. You must win by 2. Here in this one, for Overton County, it's Whited, Robertson, Harris, Belton, Dishman, and Ledbetter. For Avery Trace, it's Fliss Mayberry, Clark, Simonis. Also, Atnip, Gist, and Judd. The official, I don't see the official. I don't know where he's went. As Avery Trace won set 1, 25-13. Overton County won set 2, 25-19. To tie it up and force this deciding game 3. The JV matchup earlier went 3 as well, as Overton County won set 1, 25-12. Avery Trace won set 2, 25-11. And Overton County won set 3, 16-14 to win the game. Official back out there now, going to check the paperwork to make sure that everyone is right. They haven't changed anything yet tonight, so I don't think you need to do a whole lot of checking. I think it's going to be Avery Trace serving. I think they said. We'll wait and see to be sure. Happy to have you with us here on Overton Events. If you're enjoying our coverage of junior high volleyball, join us on YouTube or Facebook for all kinds of sports coverage. here this 2023-2024 season. If you enjoy our coverage, subscribe to our YouTube page, follow us on Facebook, give us a like as Overton County will serve to start this deciding set 3. Marley Dishman to get us started for the Lady Wildcats. Dishman, deep serve, played by Atnip. Gist trying to tap it across. Simonis is there to take it across to Dishman. Robertson sets Whited in the middle. Dug there by Clark. Judd will tap it up, and a catch going to be called on Patience Judd. That'll be a point for Overton County to move them in front 1-0 here in set 3. As Dishman to serve once again for the Lady Wildcats. Marley. A good job on her serve in both the previous sets. Dishman serves this one to the far side and just misses outside that time, though, to even the score at 1-1. And now Addie Clark to serve for the first service game for Avery Trace in set 3. Clark, back row. Dishman can't control it. Point going to go to Avery Trace on the serve of Addie Clark. Told you she got set 1, started 9-0 on her serve. Now gives Avery Trace their first lead. Now, they did lead 1-0. They now lead 2-1. Clark, ace there, just dropping it right in the middle of the floor to move the lead to 3-1. And Overton County is going to take a timeout. They'll call it here with Avery Trace leading 3-1 in this matchup. Back after the timeout with Avery Trace leading 3-1 here in set 3. Addie Clark to serve once again for the Lady Raiders. One set apiece, as this one going to be long and out for the point for Overton County. With a timeout by Coach Jenkins and a breaking the rhythm of Avery Trace, gained the point. The Lady Wildcats gained the serve back for the Lady Wildcats as Bella Harris to serve now for Overton County. Trying to tie it here on this one. Bella. Played by Fliss Mayberry. Clark across and 2 to Melton. Punched across by Whited and down. Ava Whited taking it across and 2. Caught him napping. Found the open part of the floor for the point for Overton County to tie it at 3 apiece. Harris serving once again. That's down for an ace. Bella Harris dropped it right in the middle of the court for the ace for Overton County to move them in front 4-3. Bella trying to extend that 1-point lead. That one drops, but Gist is there. Clark backs at Simonis. And Overton County, a little miscommunication there as it's going to drop for the point for Avery Trace, and they'll get the serve back as Josie Kate Williams will come in replacing Addie Atnip. 4-4 here in set 3, as stepping out to serve will be Abby Simonis. Melton tries to play that one with one hand, can't do so. And the point going to go to Avery Trace. Moves them in front by 1, 5-4. Simonis to Dishman. Harris bumps it across. That's going to be tough, and that's down. Fliss Mayberry couldn't get to it, and the point will go to Overton County. And Bella Robertson, the serve for the Lady Wildcats. Robertson trying to break this 5-5 tie for her favor. Williams pops it up. Clark is there. Williams will take it across. Robertson is there. Harris now to Whited. Whited plays it to Simonis. Clark back set. Williams with the left hand. Dug by Robertson. Melton can't control that one. The point going to go to Avery Trace. Double contact there on Overton County. We'll give it to Avery Trace, and we'll move the Lady Raiders in front, 6-5. Abby Dyer checking back in. She'll replace Patience Judd as Dyer will come in to serve. (6-5) Avery Trace here in set 3. Dyer to serve. Dishman will play that one. Ledbetter will tap it across to Gist. Clark coming back to Gist. Gist dug by Harris. Melton now to Ledbetter. Ledbetter to the back row, Simonis. Clark with the bump set to Fliss Mayberry. And Melton can't control that one. The point going to go to Avery Trace. Point will go to the Lady Raiders, and they'll move in front by 2, 7-5, and Overton County will take another timeout. We'll take it with them. We're in set 3. We'll be back right after this. Dyer to serve after the timeout. Back row, Harris will pop it up. Dishman now to Harris. Harris takes it across back row, Simonis. Clark back set. No, she goes to Fliss Mayberry. Dug by Ledbetter. Whited will tap it across in 2. Clark now to Williams. Dishman to Harris. Harris to Clark. Williams now will set. Sets Gist outside, but on the set, they're going to call the double contact on Williams, and the point will go to Overton County to cut the lead back to 1 at 7-6. Lady Wildcats to serve, trailing by 1 with Ava Whited stepping out to serve. Jump serve from Whited. That's off Williams, and a point for Overton County. The ace for Ava Whited to tie the game at 7 here in set 3. Whited to serve once again. And that one doesn't get across. Point to Avery Trace to move them in front again, 8-7. As Ava Gist stepping out to serve for the Lady Raiders. The game in this set is to 15. You must win by 2. Whited to Melton. Tried to hit Dishman. It was behind her. Marley tried to recover and push it across. Couldn't do so, and the point going to go to Avery Trace. Gist to serve once again with a 2-point lead now for Avery Trace. Gist Played in the back row by Harris. Melton will pop it up. Dishman will take it across. Simonis. Now to Gist and Williams. Little indecision there as they talk to each other after that one drops. And the point going to go to Overton County. Carly Ledbetter stepping out to serve with Lady Wildcats in a 1-point Avery Trace lead, 9-8. Ledbetter serves this one and doesn't get across. Point will go to Avery Trace. Extends the lead to 2 at 10-8. As Addie Atnip checking back in, she'll replace Josie Kate Williams. Atnip to serve as that one rolled away. Addie will run it down over in the doorway. Atnip to Robertson, who can't control it, and the point going to go to Avery Trace. Atnip moves them in front by 3 at 11-8. Putting some pressure now on the Overton County defense. Atnip. That one goes in the net, though. Overton County gets the serve back. Gets the point to cut it to 2 at 11-9. And now Tatum Melton to serve for Overton County. Melton. Good serve. Dyer can't control it. Point going to go to Overton County on the serve by Melton on the sideline. Cuts the lead to 1 at 11-10. Trying to tie it up here is Tatum Melton. Melton to Atnip. Gist. Bump set to Clark. Back row they go to Ledbetter. Now to Melton. Whited will play it across, but out of bounds. Point going to go to Avery Trace. And they're 3 points away from the game. 12-10 as Patience Judd will check back in. She'll replace Abby Dyer. Sunny Fliss Mayberry serving. This one played by Melton. Back to the Avery Trace side. Clark to Judd, and Judd hits it out of bounds. Point going to go to Overton County. Smart decision by Tatum Melton. The point to the Lady Wildcats, and Marley Dishman will serve in a 1-point Avery Trace lead, 12-11. Dishman for the Lady Wildcats trying to tie it up here and see if she can rally her teammates for a win here against Avery Trace to open the season. Atnip to Gist. Bump set to Clark. Clark taps it back row, Ledbetter. Harris and Melton both are there. And it gets away, and the point going to go to Avery Trace. 2 points away from the game is Avery Trace. Clark trying to serve it out here. She moves over to this near side and hits it out. 13-12. Now here in set 3 is Harris to serve once again for the Lady Wildcats. Harris to play it for Overton County. Bella goes back row to Atnip. Clark with the bump set to Gist. Gist dug in the back row by Dishman. Harris will tap it to Whited. Clark is there for Avery Trace. Simonis back to Clark. Clark now to Robertson. Whited will play it across to Clark. Simonis to Judd, who taps it back row to Melton. Now a little indecision, but Ledbetter will tap it across to Clark. Simonis bumps in the back row to Atnip. Atnip now to Melton. Melton to Ledbetter, who goes back row to Atnip. Clark back set Simonis. She'll tap it across. Harris will pop it up. Dishman will save it and tapped across by Whited. Clark now to Judd. Judd dug by Harris and diving after it is Whited, and Dishman couldn't get to it. And the point going to go to Avery Trace to set up game point for the Lady Raiders. Good rally there, but Avery Trace comes out on top, and they serve for the game right here with Simonis stepping out to serve. 14-12. as Williams going to check back in, replacing Atnip. Simonis to serve. Back row Harris. Dishman. Now to Melton. Melton plays it across and plays it out of bounds. And Avery Trace wins it 15-12. They win it in 3 sets. They win set 1, 25-13. Overton County wins set 2, 25-19. Avery Trace wins set 3, 15-12 to start their season 1-0. The loss, Overton County starts their season 0-1. Thank you for joining us here tonight on Overton Events. That's going to wrap up our coverage. For Matt Gall, this is Craig Cantrell saying good night from Livingston Academy.